So I have an archived clip here of Joe Biden on C-SPAN speaking on the Senate floor in 1993, and I want to play it for you and show you some really important discrepancies with the Joe Biden we're seeing today and the Joe Biden we were seeing then, not just in his tone and demeanor, but in the logic and reasoning on some really important topics that he was talking about.
Take back the streets. It doesn't matter whether or not the person that is accosting your son or daughter or my son or daughter, my wife, your husband, my mother, your parents. It doesn't matter whether or not they were deprived as a youth. It doesn't matter or not whether or not they had no background that enabled them to become socialized into the fabric of society. It doesn't matter whether or not they're the victims of society. The end result is they're about to knock my mother on the head with a lead pipe, shoot my sister, beat up my wife, take on my sons. So I don't.
First, as you notice him speaking there, although he did have a slight little slip up there in the middle, notice his tone, his pacing, his clarity, and his logic. This doesn't sound anything like the Joe Biden we see today. Not even close. Anyone who says, no, he's the same, he's always been like this, he slips up, he forgets things, he doesn't know where he is, he's wandering around, he's trying to say a word, but he doesn't say that word, he forgets stories, he repeats himself over and over and over again, he repeats jokes, he'll say one thing and then a couple minutes later say the same exact thing. This is not even close to what Joe Biden was like when he was on the Senate floor here.
Also, our continued enhancement of stability of the Indo-Pacific in that whole area.
So regardless of the topic that he's talking about, this Joe Biden is a lot different. There is a very clear mental and physical decline in the Joe Biden today. And just looking at the two side by side, anyone without bias should say he has really no business being in the office of president right now.
I want to ask, what made them do this? They must be taken off the street. Unless we do something about that cadre of young people, tens of thousands of them, born out of wedlock, without parents, without supervision, without any structure, without any conscience developing, because they literally, I yield myself 3 more minutes, because they literally.
He's going to go on here. I'm going to keep playing it, but he's talking about criminals in the street. Listen to how he's talking about criminals, people who are committing active crimes. These are the individuals he's talking about in 1993, and notice how he's talking about them. He's saying that it doesn't even matter if society caused this to happen to them, how they were raised, how they were brought up, their mother. It doesn't matter, because they're going to do these things, and they are doing these things, and they're going to continue to do these things, and that's why we need to deal with them and this problem. Notice that tone. It's so radically different than what we're seeing today.
Literally have not been socialized. They literally have not had an opportunity. We should focus on them now, not out of a liberal instinct for love, brother, and humanity, although I think that's a good instinct, but for simple, pragmatic reasons. If we don't, they will, or a portion of them will, become the predators 15 years from now. And Madam President, we have predators on our streets that society has, in fact, in part because of its neglect, created. Again,
this is incredible. All right, because he's saying we have predators on the street who society, in part, has actually created the situation we are seeing right now. Joe Biden is 51 years old here. 51. He's no spring chicken, okay? It's not like he's 25, 35. He's older here. He's had a lot of experience in life. He's had a lot of time to formulate his opinions. And his opinion right now of logical reasoning that he's saying is, it doesn't matter even if society has done these things that have caused this. We've caused this situation, our decisions, our law, our legal system, our corruptness, whatever it is. We've even made these criminals in some cases the way that they are. He's saying it doesn't even matter if we've done that. They still need to be held accountable. We need to get them off the street. Now, I'm not sure that I'm entirely with him on his logic. I think there's actually far superior logic that he can be using right now, and ultimate conclusions that he can be making right now. But my bigger point is to show you the difference of what we are seeing in the Democrat and liberal agenda today versus what was happening in the 90s. It's not even close. He's calling for the removal of these individuals. He's calling for them to be put in prison and held accountable for their crimes, even if society calls us. Now, think about what's happening today. Is society, is our legal system, is our politicians, our Congress, our lawmakers, are they creating a situation right now which is enabling criminals to embark on criminal activity against people and businesses? Is this happening? The clear answer is yes. There is a massive pullback in these individuals who are doing this having any consequence for what they're doing. In some cases, there are cities that are allowing people to go in and literally steal, rob in front of employees. And they're being told, don't even report this. Don't go to the cops. Don't do this. We have gone so far off the rails today. Our Congress people have allowed our borders to be open and have created a situation in which millions of people are just pouring in. And I'm not saying that all of them are bad. We understand that they're not all bad, but it is creating a situation where you're having these high population areas become even higher population. And some individuals are getting in and they're causing havoc, criminal havoc. Society has caused this problem. But look at how Joe Biden approaches it then. We still need to do something about it. But today, no. They're listen, they're doing that. Just let them do that. We cause this. It's okay if that's happening. If this person got beat or hurt, we just got to let them out of jail. We got to let no bonds, nothing. Just let them go free. And we're seeing unbelievable amounts of repeat criminal activity happening now. Again, I don't want to get off on a tangent here. My ultimate goal is to show you the absolute radical change from individuals who had actually some sort of common sense in the 90s, who now, just a few short decades later, the disease of liberalism has infected their brains to the point where the things that they are saying are absolutely ludicrous and insane, and in some ways almost trying to cause the breakdown of society if you take it for what it is. These individuals, if they could go back 30 years, if Joe Biden 30 years ago could see himself today, he would slap himself in the face and say, what is wrong with you, you fool? But the disease has worked itself in to this ideology. And many of the populists haven't even seen the change. They don't even realize, because when the change happens slow enough, you don't realize it's happening. And so it's taken 30 years to happen, but it's happened. You can see it. It's happened. And someone needs to take control of that party. Someone needs to do something about this. I don't see anyone actually doing anything about it. I don't see any person out there in Congress or politicians or leaders that's going to do something with what is going on right now on the Democrat side of things. But it's so clear what's happening. So I thought this was a really good clip to show you that obviously there's something really wrong here with Joe Biden, but also the logic and also the progression of the liberal agenda and ideology, which has become so radical in our modern time. What do you think about this? Leave your comments below. Anything else to add on this? Does this really make it clear for you? Maybe if you were on the fence and not sure and you were thinking, Joe Biden's fine. Does this really show there's something wrong here? There's something really going on here that's pretty bad, pretty pathetic. But I figured I'd share it with you. I hope you enjoyed this one. Of course, as always, I will catch you on the next one.